record. We are recording. Okay, guys. So in this portion of the video, we are going to watch trades. We're going to be doing a review on Jordan Belfort. All right, so I'm just going to be pausing it after he talks for a little bit, and I'm going to be trying to correct the record as much as I can. And then we're going to try to post this video. So anyone that watched Jordan Belfort and maybe got discouraged and wants to hear the truth, hopefully I can set the record straight and ease some minds if there's some, or I mean, honestly, it's not really a bad thing if the paper handlers leave now. We really don't want any paper. Like, we only want people that we know we can trust. So I don't know. Let's see how we like this, guys. Because I didn't like anything Jordan had to say, so I don't like the video. It's not because I don't like Trey, it's just because I don't like Jordan. But let's go ahead and hear what you guys say and see what I was upset with.
Oh yeah, doing well, Jordan. Good to meet you. I gotta say, pretty humble. Great. My pleasure. My pleasure. Just got back from Florida the second. So
awesome.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you getting on the call with me. I know it's your assistant said that you had some sickness and stuff, but you're doing okay now and feeling good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I just sore throat. I'm okay.
Awesome.
Doing good. Right on, man. Ready to roll. Let's rock and roll, buddy. So, we don't waste your time. So we kind of ran into because on Twitter, there's been some speculation that you pay attention to the AMC and GameStop situation. I gotta say, I've been watching your channel for a while. I love your podcast, The Wolf's Den, man. I love watch all the guests you bring on, and I think there's a huge opportunity for some education. There's a lot of stuff that you know, and I think with everything going on with AMC and GameStop, there's a lot of people that are getting into investing. We don't really know a lot about the market, and to be honest with you, I'm still a learning investor myself. So I try to learn as I go, figure out the process, and as I'm learning, bring people with me. And I think there's a great opportunity here with your knowledge and expertise and experience to bring some light to some different things that are happening in the market. So I kind of want to talk about that. What you think about the current market, climate, the AMC GameStop situation? Because we gotta say, I mean, there's some cool stuff going on your Twitter, and I'm very excited for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think with GameStop, especially because I made a really.
Something's wrong with my audio, guys. All right, I guess you smooth brainers can't handle 2 times the speed. We'll do 1.25. I just don't like wasting time listening to people talk.
Right on the money call, just like the last couple of weeks, I said that if the stock stays up much longer, the company will just issue more shares.
All right, let's go back.
Figure out the process, and as I'm learning, bring people with me. And I think there's a great opportunity here with your knowledge and expertise and experience to bring some light to some different things that are happening in the market. So I kind of want to talk about that, what you're thinking about the current market, climate, the AMC GameStop situation, because we got to say, I mean, there's definitely been some cool stuff going on your Twitter, and I'm very excited for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think with GameStop, especially because I made a really right on the money call just like the last couple of weeks. I said that if the stock stays up much longer, the company will just issue more shares. They'll do a secondary. They'll dilute out. I mean that.
Okay, fuck this guy. Okay, so let's start with this first. AMC got 500 million shares. They're trying to dilute it with 500 million more shares. GME has 70 million shares. Does anybody in my chat know how many shares, what percent of shares GME diluted? When he just made that statement, does anyone know what percent of shares GME diluted? Anybody in the chat, please. Somebody please know that answer. Does anybody know does anybody know? No, they did dilute some shares. They did dilute. GME diluted, but there's a percent. They needed some cash. They diluted 5%. So if there's 70 million shares, they added 5% on top of that, which is what? $300,000 shares is what they did. They added, so somebody said 1.5 million. I'm not sure if that meant dollars or what, but $3.6 million Cellmaker said. All I know is Warden Elite told me they did 5%, and I trust his DD more than anyone's on GME. And so 5% is the number of shares that they diluted. And so we're all just guessing in the chat. Nobody's wrong. Like, you can't be wrong when you're guessing. But basically, GME did dilute, but they diluted 5%. AMC's asking for 100%. So when this guy comes in and tries to be like, oh, yeah, GME diluted just like AMC's about to, that's not the same thing. GME wanted a little bit of cash. I'm fine giving AMC a little bit of cash. I don't mind giving them another 50 million shares if they need it right now. But what I mind is giving them back ownership of the company all in one swoop, and we never even fucking got nothing. We never got paid yet. Like, I ain't fucking giving them back their company till I get paid on the squeeze at least. That's the first chance they get of talking about diluting my shares. You guys hear me? Like, this guy, this Jordan Belfort guy is a clown. This is going to be fun, guys. Let's just tear him to shreds right now.
the market. You know, essentially, it's not a good thing when a company sells a ton of shares in terms of the impact it has on the price. It's all supply and demand, right? You know, listen, it could be good for the company in the long term if they take that money and they put that to use and, you know, create more value. But generally speaking, I mean, it's like this is like not a good thing for the price of a stock in the short term, because when they do a secondary, it brings the price down. So, but who knows when it comes to GameStop, because everything with GameStop sort of defies logic. So.
Yeah, nothing technical about it. Doesn't make much sense. I'm glad you brought that up because there's actually been a lot of fun kind of.
See, I don't think that's Trey. I think that's Trey just trying to be in an agreement mode rather than push back. I personally think everything about GameStop is 100% logical. If you guys go watch the Mark Cuban video that he posted on CNBC a couple days ago where he's roasting them, he said, guys, we've seen this 100 times. It's all about buying pressure. This is nothing special. This is nothing new. And both of them right now are trying to suggest that this is something that defies logic, and it's not. This is where the retail put the money. Their $700 million went into GameStop, but right now they're holding on to $10 billion of profit. There's $10 billion of retail profit right now that nobody's closing out. That the diamond handler's like, nah, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. Yeah, I think I'm good. And then there's the AMC, where AMC is following a similar pattern, not quite as strong, because they got probably about $2 billion of retail investment and another $2 billion of profit. So they're sitting around $4 or $5 billion, while GME is sitting around $10, $13 billion. And so if you just look at their market cap, you can kind of see how much money invested plus profits are being held right now, if that makes sense. And so I just don't understand why they're acting like so shocked. Like no others, like Tesla had the buying pressure that we were experiencing in a smaller relation, but more like consistent buying pressure over a long period of time. And they grew steadily for forever. And so we should have grown. The hedgies are manipulating the price. We're not at our true price right now, but we'll get there soon.
Going around with dilution with both AMC and GameStop. So the AMC CEO, Adam Aaron, has been talking about the shareholder vote for passing 500 million shares to dilute. I personally voted no for that because in the short term it dilutes supply and demand, like you mentioned. You increase the supply in the short term, and the price is going to cut in half into a third or whatever it is. What do you think about that situation? And do you think it's pretty likely that passes? What kind of advice?
It'll pass. It'll pass. It has to pass. And why wouldn't it? It would be ridiculous.
Why wouldn't it pass? Why would 88% of retail say no to dilution? Well, of course it's going to pass. Why wouldn't it pass? Why, like, don't you, like, retail only owns 88%. Half of them are retarded, so that means only 44% are going to say no. Like, what the fuck is he trying to say right now? Somebody explain that to me. What is he trying to say right there? What a clown.
For it not to pass. In other words, I mean, for you to vote no, it just, I understand, like, it's not like a rational decision to vote no. In other words,
bro, until he talks to math and explains my math of how it's not rational, I'm the most rational. People call me crazy. I've been successful in my life only because I'm crazy with a hint of extreme rationality. Everything I say is actually basically true. Like, I say it in crazy ways. I get all freaking amped up, but I'm freaking rational, bro. My logic is on point.
The stock is wildly overvalued. It just is.
He's talking about AMC stock overvalued. It's okay, guys. Right now, I just showed you how AMC is at 7 times EP, right? 7 times EP ratio. Okay, so we're gonna look up highest PE ratio stocks. Sorry, PE, not EP. Highest PE ratio stocks. Okay. This one's at 5,799 with a market cap of 1.31 billion. That means, let's take a look at this. Hold on. What is this fucking spammy shit? Get out of here. Why is there not an, okay. That was pissing me off. Okay. So we're at 5,800, right? 5,800. Okay. So 5,800. That is the multiplier times their earnings to get to their market cap. So if we divide the market cap 1.1 billion, so we're going to do 1 billion. And if we divide that by 5,800, a company that last year's profit was $250,000, Siva, is currently a market cap of $1.31 billion, 5,800 times their earnings. It would literally take 10,000 to 100,000 years for them to pay this back. Shut the fuck up, you stupid ass clowns. Tesla's at 1,000. So if we go down this list, there's not a lot of 5,000s, but then we hit Tesla right here at 1,300. We hit all these other companies at thousands, 500s, 400s, 300s, 200s, 100s. The average company on the market right now is 26 times earnings. AMC is 7. GME is 13. Stop telling me the stock is overvalued. I'm sick of it. You guys hear what I'm saying? Like, is my math wrong? Am I missing something? All right, guys, let's keep going. Let's see what else they got to say. Let's see what other lies this guy got to say. Here we go.
There's just there's no possible scenario which either GameStop or AMC is fairly valued. This price, they're wildly overvalued.
I mean, he just keeps saying it, but like, show me the math. What do you mean by that? Are you talking about the revenue? Are you talking about COVID revenue? Are you talking about 2018 revenue? Are you talking about earnings? What are you talking about? What is overvalued? Define the term, please, you amateur.
So it just would make sense. The reason I knew this was going to happen is because how could it not happen? Like, the management as a fiduciary to you as a shareholder, it's a responsibility to you to take advantage of an inflated price. If people are going to buy it, or it's at 10 times the price it should be trading at fundamentally, then the management, it behooves them.
He's shorting the stock, guys. He is betting against the diamond handlers. He thinks you're weak. He thinks you're a coward. He thinks you will cave. He does not think you are patient. He thinks you are a weak ass coward. That is what he's doing right now. He's shorting the market. He's the guy buying the puts. He owes Citadel a ton of fucking money if AMC doesn't go down, if GME doesn't go down. What a clown ass motherfucker.
Imagine to raise money because it's not that diluted. And to raise that much at that high a price, you're not diluting people out that much. It's one thing if they were.
Oh my goodness. He's got no, like, I just went over the math of dilution from the GME 5% to the AMC 100%. And now he's trying to say it's not even diluting it. He's a fucking clown.
The stock was $8 a share and they sold 1 billion shares. That would dilute everyone out. But it's anti-dilutive at this level because it's not worth this much money. You're raising, whoever buys a stock, in my mind, is kind of nutty. It doesn't.
Guys, he's lying to you. Like, this guy stole from all the poor people 20 years ago and went to jail for it. You really think he's being honest to you now? Now he just learned how the liars can get away with it. He learned how to lie like the hedge funds, like the CNBC people. He learned how to make his bets and then come on mainstream media and spread his FUD to try to make his bets print. His bets aren't printing. My bets are printing. Bet against him. Bet on me, bro. Promise. Promise.
Listen, the whole thing right now, it doesn't really make sense in terms of it's just not trading at a fundamentally, justified price. That doesn't mean you can't make a
He just keeps repeating himself. He says the same thing over and over again. I've heard that same thing 10 times now in the last 60 seconds.
I'm already trading at these high prices, whatever.
Shut up.
I just don't see
Coward.
Justify it. It's just trading. You're just betting that some guy is going to take the
Fucking
company.
clown ass motherfucker. I'll beat the fuck out of this bitch.
That's like,
bring it on, Jordan. I'll beat the fuck out of you.
On the way there. I don't know. It doesn't really make much sense to me, though.
Sure, yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, and fundamentally,
But you guys don't understand. I'll go to war with anybody. If a billionaire calls me, says they're going to fucking kill me, I'm going to say, I'm going to fucking kill you first, bitch. You guys don't understand. I'm literally afraid of no one. I think everybody's a soft ass retard motherfucker. I'm ready to take on the politicians. I'm ready to take on the billionaires. Like, my math is better than everybody's. I took on the biggest obstacle in the world known as options, and I fucking slayed it. Nobody's got what I got right now.
GameStop both are 100% overvalued. I mean, GameStop trading at $200, $300, all the way up to $500 doesn't make sense, and it goes against all logic, like we've been saying. I think what it comes down to is just kind of like the cult following that they kind of have. I mean, people are just buying it because people are buying it.
Hell yeah.
I'm totally with you. In the long term, it's going to be good for the company in the sense that it will raise cash. It'll help AMC get out of debt. That's a whole sort of situation.
And so I hope Trey gets a chance to watch my debt video on AMC, and I really hope he changes his tune on that and be like, dude, guys, like, I didn't realize how the debt was structured, but now that I see how the $10 billion of debt is structured versus what they have right now, they actually look like they're in a pretty sweet position. Look around on most companies, and like AMC is a good one to be able to win in a lottery or something, Like I'm hoping he really changes his opinion on that.
Problem is that I think people don't understand the difference between Bitcoin and GameStop and AMC. Like people have gotten this.
Okay. Hold on. I can't even let him, like, before he says whatever, I can't remember what he says, but before he says what he says, let me say what I'm going to say between Bitcoin, GameStop, and AMC. Let me explain what you need to know. I know exactly what you need to know about that shit. All right. Bitcoin is, like, I'm just going to say all crypto is Bitcoin because, like, it all follows the same ideas, and Bitcoin's the most popular out of all of them and the most valuable out of all of them. So to me, basically crypto or Bitcoin was the black sheep, the rebel child, the anti-establishment, the decentralized, the can't be manipulated, can't be printed more of, the everything that you needed in something. That's what it was. Okay. And what you guys need to understand right now, and he's actually, I remember Jordan Belfort saying this in the video. He talks about how, and he tries to like distinguish the difference between the US dollar, an AMC stock, and a Bitcoin. And he tries to call one a currency, one a stock, and one asset of value, or something like that. And so basically, they're all three the same. Like the class that I'm taking, the 6-month boot camp that I'm taking right now, is literally designing to teach me how it's all about buying pressure, and it's all about like a crypto coin is no different than a stock, which is no different than a currency, and it's all based off the same metrics of buying and selling power, which raises or lowers the price. And obviously then outside of that is the quantitative easing, the manipulation from the federal government, the freaking hedge funds, the citadels, probably the DTCC, probably the SEC. Like, I think they're all guilty at this point. I think they know they're about to lose everything, and they are prepared to break every single law to beat us, and they will still lose. And that's when we will get to find who's really guilty or not, and we will make them pay. They will be punished. And everyone else, everyone that's just like guilty from ignorance, will be given a second chance, a chance to repent. I don't hate the people that are ignorant, but I will fight the people that are ignorant. I will totally fight anybody. All right, so let's keep going.
Really strange.
Oh, hold on. So anyways, the Bitcoin, the bad boy, right? Well, GME and AMC became the bad boy. And because GME and AMC have the options potential, unlike, because if you understand options, the only way options really become a weapon against the machine is when they get super cheap. And the only way to get super cheap is if they hit like a super bottom value that they're not supposed to be at, and their historical performance says that they basically can't go up in value. And so it looks back, whether like some of them, like I know the S&P 500 only looks back 2 months, but like some of it, like it may be like the individual stocks, maybe 6 months or a year, but it basically looks back and it says, where can the stock go based off where it's at and where it's gone in the past. And that's how it bases the option pricing. And ultimately, because GME and AMC got wrecked by COVID, because the quantitative easing and the federal government didn't come and save these companies and a handful of other companies. These companies were basically powder kegs ready to explode. And because they're still basically that way, and because retail did double down and did diamond hand, they're still ready to explode. And because the options are still cheap, we can make a ton of money off just small couple 100% gains in the stock. And I got a whole plan after that too. You got to watch the rest of my videos for. So basically everything that cryptocurrency had, everything that Bitcoin had, AMC now has. Because if a crypto coin and a stock is the same thing, then AMC is Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin is decentralized and can't be printed more of, and AMC is owned by the retail saying no dilution, there's no difference. It's the same thing. And so because the federal government made AMC and GME the enemy, because, I mean, it was probably more Robinhood and Citadel, right? When they closed it and they only allowed selling. Basically, if they would have just froze it and then like opened it, like it probably would have started crashing, but everybody that made a fortune in the options would have been able to cash it out. But when they closed it and then only allowed selling, they robbed billions and billions of dollars from just broke, simple-minded fools that happened to buy the AMC options that were unbelievably cheap before that first pop when it was at $5. And so when they stole the money, when they straight robbed society like that, GME and AMC became the enemy against society, the bet against society, the hedge against society. And I believe that AMC is the little brother of GME. GME will ultimately be the most valuable currency on earth. And both of them will outpace. They will grow faster than inflation grows. And it's because it's the hedge against society, which then in turn, when you understand that it is the hedge against society, removes 100% of the value from Bitcoin. Bitcoin loses all value. Bitcoin now becomes, now you see the Fed pushing Bitcoin. Now on YouTube, every commercial tells me to get a Bitcoin account. You want to know why? It's because they're no longer the bad boys. And it's because they're sensing a huge unstable situation in Bitcoin right now. And it's actually the Federal Reserve with their quantitative easing that's propping up Bitcoin right now. Only reason it hasn't crashed, just like Tesla, just like the NASDAQ, just like the S&P 500, just like the Dow Jones, it's all crashing a lot.
Still, there's this false sense of security right now that we'll just hold it, it'll come back. It's like they watched it happen with Bitcoin, and it did come back. But Bitcoin is not a stock. Bitcoin cannot issue shares whenever they want.
Right.
There's very, very finite supply of Bitcoin, which is what gives it its value, so to speak. And I'm a bull on Bitcoin right now because I think that the technicals are going to bring it higher. But that does not exist with GameStop. This is exactly what will keep happening. The longer the stock stays up at an inflated value, the more shares they will dump on the market until it goes back down to and just more forward. It'll keep happening again. They'll keep adding more and more and more shares onto the market because why wouldn't they?
Right.
It just doesn't make any sense. It's essentially increasing the book. It doesn't make any. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's helpful to the company to raise money at this point.
Okay, guys. So the first 15 minutes of this video has been we're only at 6 minutes. So the first 5 minutes of this video was all it's overvalued. It's overvalued. And now he just said Bitcoin. I'm bullish on Bitcoin, as if Bitcoin's not the most overvalued thing on earth right now. This guy's a fucking clown.
They should, so it'd be crazy not to.
Yeah, they're both on the verge of bankruptcy. I mean, with GameStop failing at the brick and mortar locations, everything going e-commerce at this point, it definitely makes sense to raise that capital and kind of rebrand themselves in that way. So with that being said, them diluting the shares down and trying to raise capital so they can continue to exist, to thrive, to potentially grow down the road. What do you see happening over the next 6 months to a year? Do you think there's people are going to walk out the other end of this getting pretty burned? Do you think that there's actually potential with all this stuff going on? Like, people are pretty well expecting a second squeeze like we saw the first time. And I'd be curious to know if you think there's a chance of that happening again.
I don't think that happens again. I think I predicted the second squeeze. I predicted when it fell back down, I said it was going to happen. I was exactly right.
Okay, fuck that guy. He's just like that guy that came into my channel like a week ago and bragged on me losing money on one of my Friday expiration GMEs, when in that week, the federal government halted the GME stock 5 different times because it went up too fast in too small of an amount of time. So this guy's trying to he's trying to brag that he predicted the price was going to crash after the Fed manipulates the stock. Never before did the Fed manipulate the stocks or halt the stocks because the stock is going up. Circuit breakers are designed for when stocks are going down, and it's designed for indexes of markets. It's not designed for individual companies. Individual companies are supposed to be able to do anything. Volkswagen went up 1,000% in a couple days, and not once was it halted throughout that. Get the crap out of here with him saying he predicted that. You got lucky I didn't freaking make you go bankrupt on the freaking $800 strikes that I bought for 1 penny a contract. You goddamn fool. You got lucky they halted my contracts. You got lucky they halted my $3,000 GME or my 3,000 GME $800 strike contracts. I was about to make $1 billion off your bitch ass. You punk ass trying to say you fucking predicted it. Like, listen to that shit, motherfuckers. I cannot deal with that. Like, If you guys want me to be all calm and not say the F word, like, no, when I hear motherfuckers like this, I want to fight that guy. He's lying to the whole world right now. This thing got 70,000 views, and every single sentence coming out of his mouth is a goddamn lie. He better hope we never meet each other face to face. I will knock this fool out. Little pussy. Like, I'm gonna, like, if we meet, here's what I do. Because I never start the fight. I never throw the first punch. But if I don't like you, I'll look you dead in the eyes in front of, like, it don't matter who's standing around. I say, you bitch ass punk motherfucker. I'll fuck you up. I'll look anybody dead in the eyes and say those exact words in front of everybody. If I see that motherfucker, that's the treatment he's getting, because he's a stone cold fucking liar.
So the stock really got clobbered. I said, everyone said it's over. So I said, no, it's not over. Although it was really not, less of a short squeeze, more of like a gap.
And he's talking about January right now, FYI. Everyone remember, February 24th and 25th, I turned $10,000 into $1 million when GME went up 200%. Who do you want to trust? Who do you think's the wolf of Wall Street? The guy that steals from broke, stupid people, or the guy that can turn $10,000 into $1 million off a 2x movement? Come on, people.
Yeah, I'm squeaking.
I give all my education, like I'm giving real education away, literally everything I know away for free, and this guy doesn't do shit. This guy fucking makes you feel like you're a piece of shit. This guy fucking makes you feel retarded.
With options, like people buying the options, then people who issue the options want to make them, they issuing calls, they want to make them covered calls, so they buy the underlying stock to reduce their exposure, so that drives up the underlying stock, right? That's what drives it up. If people buy enough options, it'll drive up the price of the stock. If someone's got to.
Okay, so what he's talking about right there is if the short interest is high enough, people will show up to buy the stock and make the squeeze happen. If you build it, they will come. I'm telling you guys, I have the plan to finish this. We don't need a whale. We don't need Jordan. We don't need anybody. All we got to do is move the money to the 2023 options. Build that short interest and they will come.
Sell them the options. The people that sell the options don't want unlimited exposure, so they go buy the stock and create a spread, and they get a covered call, right? That's who writes the institutions write these instruments, and typically the people that make money in options are the ones that write options, not the ones that buy options. So,
except for Citadel is doing 90% of the volume, and they're naked shorting everything. They don't plan to buy until they're being forced to buy by their freaking algos because they've lost so much money they have to buy. Otherwise, they're out of compliance. They are naked shorting everything with their $250 billion. Like their $250 billion allows them to collect $300 million probably a month or a week, honestly, in options all across the market, every single expiration on Fridays. They make so much goddamn money. And then they freaking halt the system and rig it so I can't make my $800 strikes the one time it was supposed to happen. Oh, you better believe I'm getting paid. You better believe I'm coming back with a vengeance.
Wall Street, listen, I think there's a big misconception here about, first of all, I'm on the side. I love that the average person's making money. I don't want to think for a second.
Liar!
I think it's great. What I'm saying is, it just doesn't make any sense. And there's no way anyone's going to ever justify it.
Guys, apes strong together doesn't make any sense. How can apes coming together? How can 1,000 apes beat the one hedge fund? It doesn't make any sense, guys. Like, shut the fuck up, Jordan. This is the only thing that does make sense. If everybody in the world buys one stock, what do you think's the most valuable stock in the world? Somebody answer that question. If everybody in the world buys one stock, what's the most valuable stock in the world? The one fucking stock, retard.
It's rational and it's sustainable. I don't think it's sustainable. But at some point, what's going to happen is, right now, I don't think you got you.
Guys, what's happening right now is the people's voice is literally the most valuable thing in the world. This is all about the people's voice. The people's voice is what makes GME and AMC so valuable. We're putting our money where our mouth is, and we've never done this before. It's a beautiful moment, and Jordan knows what it is, and he's petrified of it, and he is hired and paid millions of dollars probably to do this video. Like, it wouldn't surprise me. Like, there are probably some heavy hitters that paid him to do this. Like, this is, like, he was probably making like 100 grand a year, 500 grand a year at most, and then he does this video, and he probably just upgraded to a mansion. I swear to God.
You realize you're young. How old are you?
23 years old. Very young.
23. I have pants older than you, and I'm not even kidding. I have clothes in my closet older than you, right?
Yeah, but bitch, I'm 30 and I'm better than you at everything. You don't know shit about options like I do. In the highest game, the highest level that anyone can play at, I'm the best. So stop talking about age like it means something, you ageist bitch. You old ass boomer.
So I'm just telling you, when a bear market hits, all of this stuff goes out the window. There is no more.
When inflation comes, the only people that will survive is the people that bet against society.
Stocks that we like and story stocks, the stocks that don't have fundamental, they go to freaking zero. They go down like they go drop like faster than you could ever imagine. Everything does. A rising tide lifts all ships, and a falling tide sinks all ships.
Except for when you bet on the hedge. The hedge is meant for this exact purpose.
Now, what you end up having in really bad bear markets, and it will come, and it's coming. It's going to come. Maybe tomorrow, maybe in 3.
Nobody's more bearish on the market than me. Nobody's more bearish on the NASDAQ, S&P 500, or Dow Jones than me. And I believe that if GME and AMC crash with everything else, they will rise out of the fucking ashes like a beautiful golden phoenix.
Yes, but it's coming.
Diamond hand.
This is not going to last. It can't. It will not. Whatever the actual value is, will probably drop there and below, because everything trades below its value in a bear market. So a bear market is about, right? So, and what's going to trigger the bear market? Who knows?
Inflation! Coming up in a couple weeks.
Rates start going up. I doubt that's going to happen so quickly because the government can't afford for it to happen.
They already said it's coming in April.
You guys are, I want to be very clear here to everyone that's listening. If you have a young viewer, you guys are operating on this very, very dangerous assumption that a bull market lasts forever.
Wrong!
It's a completely different set of
AMC and GME last forever.
Bear market. All you've seen in all your time investing is a raging bull market, and everyone looks really smart in a bull market.
I look super smart in a bull or bear market.
They look just as foolish in a stable, like even in a stable market, everyone looks kind of foolish, but it's really hard to beat the market. It really is. Like, it's a very difficult thing. You know what I'm saying? Like Warren Buffett, if he makes 12%, he's a genius, the guy, in the real world. So it's like these ideas are making.
My IUL does better than Warren Buffett.
We're all being,
Warren Buffett mastered stocks and only stocks. He never touched derivatives. My index universal life, which is the most pure basic form of derivatives, and it's where instead of shooting for like 30% and negative 30% on the S&P 500 on good and bad years, you're setting yourself at 0 to 12%, and you can, every 5% of your account balance, you can set up another 0 to 12%. And so basically, if it goes up 12% only, and you add 20% of your account balance in, now you're getting 48% of your money that year for an S&P return of 12%. And so basically, if you back test this, it makes like a 15% average ROI. So he's like bragging on Warren Buffett as the greatest man ever for doing 12%. When I was 23, I invented that, and it does 15%. So again, guys, like any way you want to split the baby, I'm the freaking GOAT.
This incredible combination of a bull market that's fed by the government dumping massive amounts of capital into the economy and banks lending absurd amounts of money. It's all the same thing that happened in 1999, 2007. It's the same cycle repeating itself again.
No. This is different. This is $5 trillion of government spending. This ain't never happened before. In 2008, when the market collapsed, who knows? Somebody in the chat, how much was the stimulus in 2008? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, $700 billion. And it was record breaking government spending. And like the conservatives were super angry about it. And then the last 12 months, 18 months or whatever it's been like $7 trillion, 7 trillion. And we had a big fit about 700 billion back in the day. Oh man, inflation's gonna fuck you up.
It never really fully cleansed out of the system. I'm not a doom and gloom guy. I'm not saying it's happening tomorrow.
That's my thing. I'm scared for the people that are gonna hold AMC all the way to 2,000 and then cash everything out, because I think AMC is gonna end up at 100,000, and like anyone that cashed out at 2,000 is gonna get fucked up by inflation. Like, we got to get the message to the real diamond handlers, because the people that are holding to 2,000 deserve to hold to 100,000, but they don't know because nobody's spreading the message that I'm spreading.
All right. No, I totally this could go on. It could go on for 3 to 5 more years. I don't know. And I think everyone should make as much money as they fucking can until that. What I'm saying is be careful because you get spoiled by these markets. And then suddenly.
He's saying sell now because you're about to make us all go broke. So please sell quick.
I remember 1999, I had a lot of friends that they became day traders. It was just exactly as it is today, my friend. Exactly.
It's exactly the same. The only difference is there's one person who actually did some research, and that's me. The only difference between the market 10 years ago and the market today is that Marcus Ray stepped up to the plate.
everybody and their grandma was a day trader. It was all the rage. And in a period of like 3 to 6 months, everyone got wiped out. Wiped out.
FYI, I've been at the plate for 2 years and I totally got wiped out. I lost $500,000 2 years ago and I've been studying since. And I like all of a sudden GME and AMC show up on my radar and I feel so ready for the moment.
People that had great careers and as mortgage brokers and this thing, they left it to become day traders. They got destroyed because what you don't realize is this stuff. None of these strategies work in a down market. They only work in up market.
I feel pretty bad about some of the things. Like if anyone goes back and watched my full video with Trey, I said some like they were like the people in my chat started talking about fighting people, and I'm always talking about fighting people. And so it's like me versus Trey, and I'm like, dude, I'll fuck anybody up. And then I was like, but I don't want to fight Trey because his eye thing. And like I actually feel really bad. Like I can tell when his eye's hurting him. Like you guys can see it, right? Like you can see the light just burning his eyeball. Like he kind of closes that one eye. But yeah, I've had freaking eye infections and stuff, and that's brutal. Like I feel bad for sure. I hope he gets better.
Yes. So that's the danger. So in the meantime, I think what the smart thing to do is to like make as much as you can right now,
right.
and play these momentum. Make as much as you can. But be really just be aware, and you brought a very good point in the beginning, which is educate yourself so you know both sides of this, so you can see it coming, and at least take some chips off the table.
Right.
I have a lot of respect for the people that started this GameStop thing. Keith Gill, who did the early research, all these guys, they're very smart. They were right. And when the stock was $4 and $5,
say my name.
Smart trade. It's a good thesis, right? It was really great. But now it's like it's a different animal.
Me and Keith.
Yeah, that makes total sense. You know, and that's why I want to bring you
the
on.
boys.
I'm not trying to BS anybody. You know, I want to get the unedited, the no filter, straight truth on what you think is going on, because that's what matters the most to me is education. That's what my channel is built on, is just see what I see and bring that to the public so we can get the word out there and just try to tell people what's up. You actually brought up something that's really interesting, which was the idea of banks being able to send out a lot of capital right now. And something that I was reading on some news articles is talking about a supplemental leveraging ratio, which I think ended on March 31st. So this is the idea, I think, that banks are able to lend out more capital to big institutional buyers who could have potentially been over leveraged. And after that expired, I remember seeing in the news that some of these hedge funds got liquidated. I think Discovery and Viacom both took some pretty nasty hits, and that seems like it could have been a precursor for this bear market that you're talking about. Do you think that's something with merit to it? Do you think that could be like the black swan?
You did not like that question.
Hedge funds that do get liquidated because maybe they are over leveraged.
You did not like that question.
Off the ball here, let me know what you think.
Good question, Trey. Good question.
I think it's something really much different than that. I don't see those type of things really making an impact.
Really?
There's a very vested interest that the government has right now in keeping things going. They keep kicking the can down the road.
This guy is literally working for the CIA. He's a fucking spook. He got out early probation because he agreed to fucking scam the world for the government this time. Holy fuck. I can't believe what I'm listening to right now.
Kicking the can down the road and kicking the can down the road. Our deficit is 20 plus trillion dollars. The interest on that deficit would be crushing if interest rates ever went up. They can't let interest rates go up because they can't service the debt. If the interest rates go up, there's no way to service the debt. So they're almost like locked in right now. They have to keep interest rates low. The problem
They can't keep interest rates low.
Is going to happen.
Like here's one thing that I got a huge issue with, okay? And you won't hear many people talk about it but me, is when it comes to like the Federal Reserve and when it comes to like rates and loan rates and mortgage rates and all these different things, treasury rates and all these different things, nobody is picking a price. The Federal Reserve does not say, okay, guys, change the number to 1% today. That's not what happens. Everything is connected. Every dollar is counted. Every dollar versus every country and every debt versus every country. It's all calculated together, okay? And because we got the freaking OPEC thing where the U.S. is backed by basically the whole world's oil system, like the U.S. dollar gets a hedge above everything else, right? Well, check this out. Oh, man, I kind of forgot where I was going with this. What was I saying? What did they just say?
Is 20 plus trillion dollars. The interest.
Oh, the Federal Reserve. So basically, what's happening is because you don't pick the number, because if I'm elected Federal Reserve CEO guy, like I don't get to pick the numbers. Instead, what happens is I have a certain amount of capital and I can look at the markets and I can look at the prices of everything, and my capital, because I like basically can print the money, because I'm the boss, and because I just want my money to remain the most valuable, I am not trying to make more money, but instead I'm trying to sustain the dollar, which I basically have control of, right? And so the way that they sustain is the money that they have is they push it and they move it all in and out all over the market, wherever they want. And they call it quantitative easing. Half of every stimulus that has been passed in the last 13, 14 months has gone to quantitative easing at the Federal Reserve. Half of every dollar printed has gone to the Federal Reserve to invest into the market, to prop up the market. So they keep, like, if you guys remember how the last stimulus that passed, there was all that fighting between the Republicans and the Democrats. And basically the Democrats are saying we're doing this with or without the Republicans. And the Republicans are saying, how dare you? You guys are doing the worst bill ever. Only 5% of this touches stuff this year. The other 95% is for the next 10 years. Like, you guys are not doing anything for the people and you're not doing anything for COVID. So how dare you? Do you guys remember back in January 28th and 29th when Biden was still president, they passed $1 trillion stimulus that nobody even knew about. I didn't even know they were talking about a stimulus until it passed. And there was zero money to us for that. The whole stimulus, it was right after the GameStop and AMC squeeze on the 27th and 28th. The next day on the 29th on a Friday, they passed this $1 trillion stimulus. I promise you, if they didn't pass that stimulus, they wouldn't be able to keep quantitative easing the markets, and it all would have crashed right then. And then if you guys looked, what did they do? They passed another stimulus. And when did they do that? After February 24th and 25th, when GameStop popped another 200%. And so every time that we have our win, they print more money. And it's because they need every dollar that they spend to hold us down and keep the rest of the market up. It's cost, like what inflation is doing to them that they didn't expect, that they aren't ready for, is that every dollar that it took to make the markets do what they wanted to do is now taking another dollar every hour. And so as days go on and days go on, they're seeing their rate go from 0.1% of their bank account getting invested a day to 0.5% of their bank account getting invested a day to a week later to 1% of their account getting invested a day, which basically projects that they only have another 120 days to invest before their entire money is gone again. And they got to do another stimulus. And so basically every time they print money, now they're trying to, like, I promise behind the scenes, everything's on fire, and they're trying to figure out a way to make this all happen and lessen the boom. They know that they're going down with or without us going up. And so they're just trying to make sure that we don't go up while they go down. And so you guys have to diamond hand. It's so important.
On that deficit, we'd be crushing if interest rates ever went up. They can't let interest rates go up because they can't service the debt. If the interest rates go up, there's no way to service the debt. So they're almost
and that's why we get inflation. And that's why nobody can afford a loaf of bread. Like, this guy don't get it. He acts like we don't know nothing because we have only been investing for a couple of years, but he don't know nothing because he's never been through a hard time in his life. He thinks going to jail was hard because he freaking stole $100 million from the poor. No, that's not hard, bro. That's not what we call hard. You're a fucking con artist. You're a bitch ass rat.
It's like locked in right now. They have to keep interest rates low. The problem is going to happen when if something happens and inflation takes off. That's going to be a disaster of like biblical proportions, because what should be happening right now and what's not happening is there should be rampant inflation because the government is printing money and expanding its balance sheet and printing money, but for some reason there is not. At least they're not saying that there is. But for example, like I'm watching the housing market go up like by insane amounts.
Right.
I just bought a new car for my fiance, right? I got her beautiful Aston Martin, the truck, new one, right? $220,000, right? And I went into the dealership and we looked at that, looked at a few of the cars, and I was going to just buy her a car. You know, she wanted a car, right? And I was going to buy her a car. And I was going to pay for the car, like give them the money. But then the guy says to me, don't do that. Just, you have good credit. Your credit's perfect. We'll give you the car. Just pay us $2,600 a month. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, all right, well, I might as well hold my money. I mean, I'll write off the $2,600. I mean, like, so I got this brand new, beautiful $250,000 car almost for what I paid for dinner in one night. All right, now
this guy's a fucking pompous asshole. Are you fucking kidding me? The guy that stole $100 million is bragging about his $2,300 dinners and $2,300 a month freaking car rental or leases or whatever. Like, my mortgage is $2,600. fuck this guy. Fuck this guy coming on. Like, if you're bragging about your money, but you're helping people, that's different. Like, I'm giving you guys everything I have, and then I'm saying I'm a rich motherfucking asshole that will fuck you up, right? But I'm giving you everything I got. So what do you want from me? Where this guy gives you absolutely fucking nothing and then spits in your fucking face? God, I can't believe this guy's still walking around. This guy should, it's unbelievable. Hey, I'll be back in a second. Hang on, let's listen to more.
Think about that. And it shocked my fiance. She's from Argentina. She's like, I don't understand how that's happened. Like, we can't do that in our country. You have to buy the car and earn the money. And people don't have that. I have friends that are buying houses right now that are $10 million houses, and they'll put down $2 million or borrow $8 million on an interest-only loan at 3%, and they're paying $20 grand a month to live in an $8 million house. That's a $10 million house. That's insane. That's not normal. Like these, you understand? Like, there's an inflationary, there's something going on right now where money is just so easy to get, right?
Yeah, because every major crash that has ever happened comes right after the market high. Before the crash, we're always at our highest point. It's not like we're like, hey guys, we're getting a little crazy here. Let's go ahead and calm down, come halfway, and then we have a small little baby crash like a year later. No. The human mindset is, let's go crazy, guys. Nah, we can go crazier. Are we sure this is it? And then boom, all the way down to zero. Like, come on, guys. We've seen it 100 times. It's just how the human brain, how the human emotion system works.
Seeing it prop up, especially in the ultra high end of the real estate market, where prices are just skyrocketing because money is so cheap.
So I think mortgages are like, I feel like people are going to lose a lot of houses, but for the most part, like, it's going to be hard to find people to rent your houses is going to be the problem. And so for like a year, housing prices are going to have a struggle. But after 12 months, I think housing is going to be like super valuable and will always maintain its pricing, because like the day that America can move on with everything is the day that everyone has their own place to live where they don't got to fight to live. And like, that's when the standard of living is so high that basically we'll find nothing but peace. There'll be very, 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 very few troubled people in a time like that. Most people will be doing exactly what they want to do, whether it's get fat and die early or become the greatest athlete in the world because they basically have a free life sponsorship of do whatever they want to do all lifelong. And some people will work super hard and some people won't work very hard. And the people that work hard will make extra income, and the luxuries they'll be able to do, no one else will be able to do, because the luxuries are going to cost a lot more while all the basic needs are going to be a lot cheaper. That's the future I'm looking for.
That reminds me a lot of 2005, 6, 7, and 8 before the GFC. All right. Now, again, I think the bigger threat here, though, is inflation. Look, when I was a kid, just to understand, when I was growing up, interest rates, you know what they were? 22%.
That's pretty high.
22%.
Right.
Okay. You want to buy a house? It was like a $200,000 mortgage. It was like $4 grand a month.
Yeah, that's
seriously. It was crazy. Right. So everyone is. So what else happens? I think it's very important for the stock market. So what happens is when interest rates go up that much, what happens is money flows out of the equity market and flows into the debt market, into bonds, T-bills, treasury notes, corporate bonds, commercial.
Everyone knows that.
Things that give you a fixed income. Because at the
end, treasury, if the 10-year hits 3%, you guys are fucked. We all know that.
That's what it's really all about. People don't really understand this.
Okay, what's next?
It's the most fundamental thing. At the end of the day, what everyone is hoping.
Like, he basically just told you everything Meet Kevin repeats every single stream Meet Kevin has.
The company will be successful enough that it can pay a dividend on the shares, so I can just hold my shares and collect my dividend. Right? And that's like, that's a conservative, that's a value-based strategy. And that's called the yield.
Let's go, retard. Tell us something we don't know.
Stocks that are companies that are successful will pay a dividend. So the stock has a yield.
Holy fuck, this guy's slow.
Sell it, you still get income off the stock. Now that competes.
My brain hurts
bonds.
just listening.
So you buy a bond, the bond might have a yield.
Oh, when I buy a bond, you're telling me about 4% bond? Shut the fuck up, retard.
For $1 million, you're going to get that $50,000 a year in interest.
What kind of wolf is this? The pansiest ass wolf I've ever seen in my whole life. I will fuck this guy up in any game you can imagine. You want to wrestle? You want to box? You want to mathathlon? What do you call it? Mathlete? I don't fucking know. I'll fuck you up in anything, bro. You want to talk finances? You want to talk life insurance? You want to talk bonds? You want to talk options? You want to talk stocks? I'll fuck you up in anything, bro. You're half retarded. who is talking, like who listens to you?
So everyone puts their money in the stock.
Holy moly.
But what happens is if inflation starts to kick up, what does the Federal Reserve do? They have to start raising interest rates. As they raise interest rates, the fixed incomes all go up. And guess what happens? Money flows into that. Big institutional money, because they're all looking for the return. So when rates go up, money flows out of stocks.
Everyone knows this. Shut up.
I grew up with that. Everyone that really knows investing.
He's still talking about it, guys.
Interest rates and low interest rates, and when rates tick up, it's bad for the
Holy
market.
moly, he thinks he's smart. He thinks this is information. He thinks he knows something.
Combined with the dot-com bubble,
holy fuck.
Money,
Everyone knows this already.
They told Americans to go out and shop, and it became a disconnection in the normal economic cycle that we all learned about on Wall Street economics, and there was a disconnection there. So there's like this sort of disconnect.
Retard alert. Retard alert.
By the way, where we've been in a low interest rate environment for God knows how long. It's insane. So, but one day, imagine if inflation really starts to kick up.
2 weeks from now.
The government's going to have to raise rates, but how do they service their debts? That's the quagmire. That's sort of the black swan of it. I think that everyone is probably most worried about what happens when inflation kicks up. That's the big deal.
Right, man. I think you're totally spot on. I mean, obviously you're spot on, because I remember reading that the interest rates, the inflation was only going to be like 2 or 3%.
So yes, he's spot on. Me, Kevin's right about that too. Everyone knows about this bond to stock thing, and the higher the interest rates go, the less people want to bet on equities, because you can make a guaranteed 10% rather than trying to shoot for a 15 to 25%. So it's like everyone would rather just be in the freaking high interest mortgage and bonds or whatever. And the problem is it's going to crash the whole market, because when they do that, nobody's going to be able to afford those new prices. And so everything's got to crash so that people can afford the prices. But then inflation comes and eats the money. And then the only people that get left not left out in the cold is GME and AMC. We didn't start the fire.
And I remember thinking, after seeing all that liquidity,
yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. We coach started the fire.
That's like nothing. That's like a
percent. I mean, we'll say Roaring Kitty started the fire.
Makes no sense. You mentioned
Roaring Kitty started the fire.
You said there's some similarities now to 2000.
Hang on, we're at the halfway point, guys.
What do you think?
So we're at the halfway point. So I'm gonna go ahead and hang out with you guys at the stream. We'll check the GME AMC price, see what you guys are saying. I hope you guys are enjoying my review on Jordan. I really don't know how this is going, but hopefully you guys are liking it. Dang, we got 89 viewers. That might be a record, guys. 89 viewers right now. That might be a record. Well, I'm coming in to catch up on the chat, guys. I like to stay with the chat. And I know I got good mods. And so the fact that I got all these fucking chats in here, but there are no deleted chats, means we got a lot of friendly apes in the chat. And I appreciate that. Because rule number 1 of Godpill is no shills in the chat. Tony, I'm sure I got your honor code last night. I got like 40 of them so far, maybe 30 of them. Welcome, Taylor McFadden. 18,000 shares at 12.25 average. 18,000 shares. You got 250K in this, bro. Guys, how do I fix this error thing? Somebody in the Discord, help me fix my YouTube. You guys see this? YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. YouTube is not receiving enough video. What does that mean? How do I give YouTube more video? Are you guys still with me? Hold on. I'm trying to catch up in the chat. Tell him, Godpill. Good call, brother. Cool. He talks a lot about Bitcoin. Trey thinking he wasted 10K. Laugh out loud. Paul Upperman says talking too fast. Paul Upperman says it's talking too fast. Oh, that's when I put it on 2x. Okay, so let's pass the 2x part. All righty, I read that part already. Let's see. He literally talks about Bitcoin for almost half of the video. Why would I trust you? Who the fuck are you? Just finished class for the day. What's up, everyone? Hello, OG Avi. Diversion tactic. Fuck yeah. JB Shield paid off Snake. I saw someone say there's a hidden message AMC to hit 2,600. Paid off. I didn't see that, Austin. I saw that Ashton Martin thing as a total dick thing. Like, he did not seem like a decent dude. Paid for sure. Spot on. Deserves a holy moly, guys. This whole video. I can't believe Jordan said the things he's saying on this video. It's wild. Paul Upperman says, this is the way. Apes and diamonds. Olive Cheeto Man says, Godpill, keeping it real. Carlsworth says, exactly, you said it, Godpill. There's nothing to back up what he's saying. Charles Hayes says that was in the the Ashton Martin thing. Christopher Chestnut says, Wolf got puts for sure. Ronnie Price says, exactly. Charlie Hayes says, people trying to decipher hidden message. Ronnie Price says, you can read right through all his comments. Once Carlsworth says, Charlie, I know, but nothing that suggests that. He just bragging about spending a shitload on his girlfriend car. Paul Upperman, supply and demand. Ronnie Price, nope. Augie Yellowbird, he keeps saying. Charlie Hayes, gotcha, man. I hear you, though. Paul Upperman, I got it. I always don't make sense when you are losing. Trey is dying inside. Fuck yeah, laugh out loud. Trey watching his 10K talk bad about AMC. Gotta love Arizona. Can build your own 50 cal legally. Get him, Godpill. Andy Tran, Fast and Furious, EBD, games, apes, rules. We're watching Fast and Furious right now. We've gotten in the last 4 days. We've gotten from 1 through 6. And so we're almost done with all of them. Mr. Awesome says, laugh out loud, dude, just took a fat dab. Paul Upperman says, Bitcoin started out on Silk Road, right? August Yellowbird says, Godpill just took a hit and said, square up. Paul Upperman, I know you had to get Bitcoin to buy whatever on Silk Road. JB means Jack broke. Olive Cheeto Man says, laugh out loud, great point. August Yellowbird, he talks forever about Bitcoin after this point. TOK. Yazazu says, I guess JB really wants us all to give him a cookie. He says, I predicted it like 5 times in the vid. August Yellowbird says, hell yeah, Godpill. Christopher Chestnut says, JB opportunistic shill. Paul Upperman says, get him, dog. M. Bachdol says, oh, we lay into this effer. Hell yeah. Ooh, we lay into this mother effer. Olive Cheeto Man says, hell yeah. Charlie Hayes says, oh boy, it's getting hot in here. At Godpill, preaching the truth. Olive Cheeto Man says, building the short interest is genius. Thank you, Olive Cheeto Man. I appreciate you enjoying my end game plan. Yeezy7Z says, the world needs your voice. We need you to be the leader of the ape army. I'm trying, bro. I've been trying so hard. 8 hours a day for 3 weeks, man. When they booted me off YouTube for a week, I started a Discord and started live streaming every day on there. Like I'm in it to win it, guys. I'm all in. Paul Upperman, if it don't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. Noah Raymond says, Matt Kors banned from YouTube. It was probably copyright strikes. If I get one more copyright strike, I will get banned from YouTube. So if you guys see me get banned, just know they said I copyright striked again. So I'm not going to play any music. And if I do watch somebody else's video, I'm going to pause it every minute like I've been doing in this video. So they can't try to claim that I just use their content for my channel type thing. Because I know that you're allowed to watch other videos as long as you're pausing the video. Let's see. Olive Cheeto Man says, diamond fucking hands holding since January 25th. If they do ban me and I'm following all the rules, I will start a lawsuit. You better believe that. Like oh man, I will sue. If after AMC prints, I will sue them so heavy. This is a war, people. No blood, but a war. You guys better believe that. This is a financial war. This is for freedom versus slavery. This is the final battle. This is for 1,000 years of peace. Jason Rass says he's not totally wrong, but he's just using age to get in Trey's head. Yep. Jason Rass, I lived through many crashes, sir. They'll come, but sadly, most people are dumb. August Yellowbird, 0. Aaron Rig, okay. 1.2 trillion, 800. I'm not exactly sure what you guys are trying to guess. I forgot what I asked you guys. Jordan Belfort is an effing thief. Why trust that POS? I didn't get shit in 2008. August Yellowbird, same. M. Bachdol, I feel you though. Shit gets emotional sometimes. Can't get butthurt when it happens. Droid says, I have been following you and have 30 June 40 calls. Been buying the 2022, 2023 $40 strike calls. You're the best with options. Should we buy stock or options? Which is optional in your opinion? Droid123, you need to go watch the last video I just uploaded. It's the number 4 video. It's both in my Discord welcome channel or on the last video of my upload on my YouTube channel. Visual says he's all about options. Jason Rast says he's being held in a CIA black site. S.A. Stone says Diamond Bless Moneybag. Andre says, when can we expect the bounce to the green? Hopefully today, guys. I really think today. Yeezy7Z says Godpill for president. I really wanted to run in 2024, and I was hoping that Trump would win and I could be friends with Trump, and he could make it to where you didn't have to be 35 to be a president, and you could make it to where it's like 30 or something. Because if Jesus died for us when he was 33, then I think we can have a president that's 33 years old, right? And so, unfortunately, I can't run for president on 2024, but I may run on 2028. I'm definitely going to have my brother run for governor of Arizona. Matt Kors is not banned. Search him on YouTube. Oh, he's not banned? That's interesting. Oh, they just gave it back to him. Interesting. So Matt Kors is back, everybody. Matt Kors couldn't have done anything wrong. Homie said he got hired by a hedge fund, though. He went to white collar jail. Bro, this is more entertainment than any paid YouTuber I'm sub to. You're welcome, Manuel. Blueberry Blunt says, look like Matt got his channel back. Droid123 says, Belfort is a joke. Why did Trey even have this guy on? Guy is a thief douchebag. Christopher Chestnut says, basically camp. And then Isaiah Hammond says, yeah, dude, Belfort being a boomer. Isaiah Hammond says, I'm a YouTube premium user and I'm watching this. Droid123 says, exactly. Isaiah Hammond's no ads on phone and I can do anything with my phone during. And August Yellowbird, I thought the same thing. He's speculating on a market that doesn't exist anymore. We're playing a different game and he's a boomer that can't let go. Free Ricky says, bruh, you get the most. Free Ricky says, valuable player award. Ooh, Free Ricky just gave me the MVP. Free Ricky just gave me the MVP, guys. Not Roaring Kitty, but Godpill, the MVP. Like, I've still been giving Roaring Kitty the MVP. Until the short interest goes up, I'm not going to take the MVP award. But I appreciate you for sure. Isaiah Hammond says 0. Housing float is bought. Free Ricky says, can you up your volume and down Jordan's? Ooh. I try just not to talk when they're talking. Most of the time that I'm talking, when Jordan's talking, I'm just like yelling bullshit like bitch or something like that, you know. August Yellowbird, Godpill out here spitting truth. Jason Karan says this. Isaiah Hammond, yo, just so you know, I'm low-key beams as well. Very cool, low-key beams. He says he's talking about things people with endless money to throw at anything to talk about when they're investing. Goat Scrody says, clean your room. Get the fuck out of my life, bro. This is a guest room that nobody ever comes over for since COVID, so I ain't worried about it. And it was my girl's work room before that, so I am just in it. Like, I wasn't planning on streaming, guys. I only started streaming because like I thought where I was going to make all the money, and like February 24th and 25th happened, and then they halted it. And I thought when it went up the next time, they weren't going to halt it. And that's when I made like a bunch of money. And when they halted it, I realized that this is going to be a longer game than I expected. And that's when I said, well, what more can I do to win this war? And so I started live streaming. I started doing my own research and I started doing my own math, and I'm trying to build a plan that everyone can follow that gets us to the end game, because I'm tired of waiting. I'm ready for the victory right now. Somebody said, there's a reason Belfort doesn't have his own platform. Jason Cran says, can you please adjust the volumes? Richard Trejo says, get at Goat Scrody out of here. And Bacto says, this effer is explaining bonds like I'm 5. Droid123, this guy's a joke, providing nothing. He was just a con artist. Isaiah Hammond's not kicking. I didn't see him shill yet. Richard Trejo says, Goat Scrody is a shill in the chat. JJ, the $200K he spent on the car for his gold digging girlfriend is more than us apes see in a lifetime. Who wants to hear Jordan Belfort effing bragging? POS. Heck yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Richard Trejo says, I've seen him on Tyler Wilson's page backing him up and every other person talking crap about AMC and GME. Goat didn't chill. You're a mod to ban if you want. No hate. Coach Brody was hidden. Isaiah Hammond record. Wall Street Assassin, I kicked one out. Isaiah Hammond smashed that like button. Dr. Quarters, Goats Brody is on everything talking crap. Free Ricky, bro, you about to blow up when more realize you have your own channel. Isaiah Hammond, Bandman, I'm not gonna hate on other mods unless I have to. Wall Street Assassin, he gone. He gone. He gone. Free Ricky, Trey did you a hell of a commercial, LOL. Hell yeah, he did. No, I mean, Trey's people have reached out to me. I haven't got to talk to Trey yet, but Trey's people have reached out to me, and they have seemed to be the coolest people I've talked to in a while, especially strangers. I mean, obviously, I love the people in my chat that have been loyal for the last couple of weeks, but as far as new strangers go, these people are coming off as real cool people. I'm getting a really good vibe from Trey and his people. So, Pig Geo says no shills allowed. No shills in the chat. Wall Street Assassin says 882. Let's go to get to 900. Nice. We're on to 900 subscribers. I appreciate you people. Pete and Man says we fucking love your energy, brother. JJJ says F Jordan Belfort. Arshia says it seems like the wolf got paid to spread FUD. I agree. Isaiah Hammond says Trey did give you a free commercial. I don't deny that. Charlie Hayes, hit them likes. Xavier Alpina, suck dog. Isaiah Hammond, you lagged. Isaiah Hammond's okay, so either need to lower bit rate. That's related to your internet upload speed. I got the highest Cox internet speed my area offers, and I'm in 10p. We have like 200, like we'll do a speed test here in a second, but I got the fastest speed. I can get on the phone with you and show you a setup of streaming. I use just OBS. If we're good right now, I don't think we'll worry about it. We'll worry about it later. And Bactal says I'm on the 4890 like 90 likes call. Smash that like. Okay, Morning Ape Gang from Ravi Chohan. Welcome, welcome. Free Ricky says, bro, rocking the truth without the lame grifting YouTuber energy. JJ says, Jordan Belfort charged Trey 10K for absolutely nothing, zero information. What effing skunk of the lowliest standard? Tony Barizzi says, right on. Dr. Quartz says, oh, we're almost caught up, guys. Hang on. Dr. Quartz says, Wall Street Assassin, thanks for kicking Ghost Brody. That guy's so full of crap. Wall Street Assassin says, Matt Kors is back in. He is back. I mean, isn't Matt Kors, didn't Matt Kors sell out of AMC and GME? I don't think he ever got in GME, and is he still in AMC? Let me know about Matt Kors, guys. From the absolute bottom of my heart, thank you. The only reason I got my account back was because of you amazing people in apes. I will never forget this. Olive Cheeto Man says, that's awesome. Oh, from Matt Kors. Now put the same mother effing to your local politicians and let them know we vote you out if you stop this. Wall Street Assassin, email them, call them. I have Jordan, not 45. What up, Godpill? How you doing today? I'm doing good, guys. Isaiah Hammond's MVP, Roaring Kitty, The Beast, DFV and MVP both work. It's okay. So DFV will be DFV. So he's deep fucking value. He's deep fucking value, and I'm most valuable player. That's actually a pretty fair. Like those are pretty great trophies to earn. Olive Cheeto Man says, Godpill, you got to admit, when this is over, I'm going to kind of miss it. I'll just wipe tears with my millions. Yeah. I mean, this is an experience. I've been trying to live stream for 4 years now. I've had some amazing ideas in the past, and I just getting in front of a camera has just been too hard. I haven't had the confidence, the energy. Nothing's really given it to me until AMC and GME. I mean, combine that with my options experience, and I just finally felt ready for the moment, and I am here to spread the message, guys. Jordan Not 45 says, why are people such fucking haters, man? Obviously, you know what you're talking about. No shills in the chat. Olive Cheeto Man says, I'm new. Love the energy. Just wish I had more money to buy options. Only 3K to my name. 3K can go a long way if you watch all the videos and you follow the full plan. Ravi says, everything counts. 8 strong together. Wall Street Assassin says, please, Goat Scrody, please call this certain number. Oh, they want to call into my number. Isaiah Hammond says, oh my gosh, I sell Cox Internet for biz. Nice. Droid123, when this pops, I'm sending you a check. Nice, nice, nice. Olive Cheeto Man says, just not sure if I can afford to lose that 3K. If you can't afford to lose it, put it in the 2023 $40 strike and you'll make $18 times on your money. Go watch my 4 videos. If you're new to my channel and you have not watched my 4 videos, you got to watch them in order. Go to the description of this video and go watch the 4 videos. There's 4 videos you have to watch. If you don't watch those videos, you don't understand what this channel is about. Like, I can't just, like, it's so much, 5 hours of explanation. I can't explain it every day. So you, like, go watch the videos and then come and enjoy the stream. You'll enjoy it much, much more. Whether you got $3,000 or whether you got $100,000, I'm going to show you how to make $1 million through this whole thing. Buy 2023 options for maximum safety and great return. Matt was pumping AMC hard, and GME, I think he did own shares if I remember correctly. Peyton Mann says he got positions in both GME and AMC, my man. Oh, nice. Matt Kors both has GME and AMC. I'm glad to hear that. So Matt Kors is on my good list then. I was writing a lot of YouTubers off. Like, honestly, I just don't know about Andrew Mo Money no more. Like, he did a survey a month ago that says, do you guys want my channel to stay AMC and GME? And it was like 80% only AMC and GME. And then like 5% GME only, 5% AMC only, and then like 10% some other bullcrap. And now he's doing all these streams about offering all stuff about anything but AMC and GME. And he's still getting votes about no, but he's still trying to push everything else but AMC and GME. And so I don't know if he's a shill or if he just doesn't know, like he doesn't have the confidence in the stock like we do. So when you say Matt Kors got hired by a hedge, what hedge fund? Are they bullish? Is the hedge fund bullish on GME and AMC, or is he get hired as a shill? What do you mean hired by a hedge? Isaiah, the hedge thing was just an April Fool's joke. All right, guys, are you ready for me to finish the second half of the Jordan Belfort video? I'm still recording this, by the way. I show my positions every day, all the time. I show my positions every day, all the time. And I go over every play I plan to make now, present, and future. All right, guys, I'm going to go on to the rest of the video. Let's go.
That is. Do you think there's a lot of the different things happening, back compared to 2008, the crazy housing market crash? Do you think that we're kind of approaching some of those same things now in today's market?
Yeah, I do. I think I see it, like, for example, we're seeing it in cryptocurrencies. And we're seeing it in real estate prices. Like, asset prices are like, they're just flying up. And there's, in crypto, it's weird because there's nothing really backing it. So it's all about sentiment.
But he's bullish.
So it's interesting.
He's so dumb.
I'm very much involved in crypto. I like it.
So dumb.
I like decentralized finance, decentralized commerce. I believe in it.
But he wants to talk about how overvalued GME and AMC are, even though they're lower value than the average value of any stock on the market.
But I don't, that doesn't mean I don't believe that eventually the price of Bitcoin will crash. I think most people think it will crash, but I think it first goes much higher.
Right.
Like, I think it goes to 100,000. Maybe I'm wrong. Nope. I think it goes higher before it goes lower. I think it's due for a big correction at some point. And that doesn't matter really, because Bitcoin is like, it's like not meant to just always go up. It's supposed to be a stable source of value, and nothing to just keep going up. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
it's like, it doesn't make any sense. It wasn't always Satoshi who meant it. He didn't design it for that. Yeah. He wanted it to be currency. It took a different turn, and it became a store of value, at least for now.
It's the same thing.
Digital dollars or whatever it's going to be will end up being used in commerce just as much as anything else. But I think that right now I don't know. I just think it's pretty obvious that, like, everything is going flying up, but inflation is staying low. How is that? I don't know.
So I would speculate, there was a lot of things that weren't brought to the public, and when everything came crashing down, a lot of stuff got exposed all at once. Do you think you're going to be looking at a similar situation now, where there might be some manipulation happening behind the scenes, where that could, we just don't know what's actually happening to push things up? Because we know about liquidity. They're printing bills, which isn't matching the inflation rate. The stock market's still going up, which means the bond yields are down. But I mean, that seems like a really easy answer to, that's definitely something that I don't comprehend to a certain degree, and I'd be interested to hear what you think.
So there's another factor involved here that is sort of an X factor, in the sense that, technology has increased efficiencies in things like manufacturing, and you just have a lot more productivity per man hour because of technology. So there's been massive changes happening that do sort of put a monkey wrench in the traditional cycle. The stupidest thing that we can think is that, oh, the world is changing. Everyone says that it never changes. The world, people are people. Human nature is human nature. We go through bubbles all the time because it's human beings that make bubbles because that's what we do. We all do. That's just our nature, right? But there are, like, for example, this whole idea of how much oil is there in the ground. How much oil is there, right? And when I was younger, it was like, there's only X amount of oil available in the world, and we're going to reach this thing called oil in some X year, whatever year it was.
I personally think, like, gas in Arizona right now is at $3.20. I personally think it's going to $20 when inflation gets, like, by May, probably, maybe June.
Matter, we never did. But what people didn't count on was incredible advances in technology that unlock new reserves. So, like, in other words,
that was okay when we weren't spending $5 trillion a year.
What is
and talking about another infrastructure plan that spends $8 trillion by itself.
What it costs to make, to manufacture? Well, if you can have massive increases in productivity, it brings down manufacturing costs, which is suppressive to inflation. So part of what's going on here is these increases in productivity.
God, I feel like I'm in a 10th grade economics class right now. Like, it couldn't be more basic. Like, everything he's talking about is the most basic thing he can say. And so, like, they're talking about all the different things of the economy, right? And he's got, like, the most basic opinion on all of it. And then anytime it's anything that we care about, he just shits on it. Like, fuck this guy.
They're definitely somewhat keeping inflation more in check than not. It's definitely a good thing for inflation. So there's a lot of moving parts here, okay? But I think that, I wouldn't say there's anything like, that I could point to right now that's other than the obvious stuff, like things that are just like, you could point to Bitcoin, NFTs. Okay, well, yeah, maybe it's just all just nonsense. That's possible, but it's not a big enough part of the system that if Bitcoin went to zero tomorrow, you have a lot of very sad millennials. I'm sure the Winklevoss would be very upset, and I'd be upset too because I'm involved in it myself. But it would be like it would have virtually no impact on the economy. It's too small a part of the economy to make any difference. I don't think even if Bitcoin turned out to be like, it's just people, let's say all the governments in the world said, no more Bitcoin, we're not allowing that anymore. I don't think that is pervasive enough in the system to have an impact.
Okay, so you guys got to understand, like, I'm in this boot camp fintech thing, and I asked my teacher basically about self-regulation and how all these finance industries, like the DTCC and the clearinghouses, how they're all actually privately owned and they're for-profit machines that are self-regulating, and basically the SEC like observes what they decide to do, and they can make recommendations or suggestions for changes, but they can't actually recommend what to do, and they only can recommend what not to do. And so it's basically the wild, wild west. And so when they say that the government's going to shut it down or just steal it because it's too much money or anything like that, you guys don't understand how money works. You don't understand how math works. No human controls the math of this machine that we live in. On this earth, the economy of this global system is all connected together, and no human, no government, no position of power controls it. They quantitative ease it for sure. So whoever has the most money can make what happen they want to happen the most. But with things like inflation, with things like hedges of GME and AMC, and all this perfect storm of retail investment standing together, ape strong, all of it's the perfect storm for the freaking 1,000 years of peace. 10% of the middle class that have invested into the stock market as the retail investors are going to become the new version, like kings and queens of this earth. We're going to lead the way to 1,000 years of peace.
I don't think it's big enough, right? So I don't think so. My thoughts on that don't really matter in terms of like, is that going to be something that is a fraud that's exposed that will impact everything? The only thing that could, I think one thing that we all have to,
like, I cannot wait for the celebrity fight night where it's me versus Jordan Belfort. I promise you, boxing, UFC, you name it, I will fuck this guy up.
Look at here, which is a really, really important point, is that the U.S. dollar is the global reserve currency, and China is aggressively trying to knock the U.S. off of that position, because it's that position as the global reserve company that allows us to do all this stuff that we take for granted. Buy cars without any money, buy homes at inflated prices, because the global reserve, we're the reserve. We can pay, the Federal Reserve can print as much money as they want without consequence, because it's the dollar that's the reserve currency. If that wasn't the reserve currency, you couldn't do it. You'd be like Greece when you run out of euros and you're screwed. You have to go in these austerity programs, everything collapses. So China now is just launching their own digital yuan. The problem with China, though, is that no one trusts China, really. So I don't really see China as being a legitimate threat to the U.S. dollar. I really don't.
I don't see China as a threat I see Democrats as a threat. I see rhinos as a threat. I see politicians and government as a threat. I'm not too worried about China right now. Like, long term, am I worried about China? Yes. Do I think China is a horrible place and we need a free Hong Kong? 100%. Does China need to end the communism? Do we need to end this government power all over the world? 100%. I'll be all about it. Like, after I save America, I go on to the rest of the world and show them the way. And anyone that wants to stand against us and start wars and stuff like that, we're just gonna erase them from the earth. They're not allowed to be here. No more war, no more bullshit, no more fake news, no more division. We're coming together, and if you want to be divisive, you'll be divisive from societies, but your society will be your people and my society will be my people. Does that make sense? Pick the right side. And then there may be a third society where people just don't want to pick a side. And then a third group of people just say, hey, like, we don't believe in nothing, but we live together. And like, there may be a third group, and that's fine. As long as you're not the group that hates me and says I'm not allowed to exist and I'm not allowed to tell people I'm Jesus, as long as you're not part of that group, I won't destroy you.
It's who in the right mind want to use yuan, because like the way the digital yuan would work is the Chinese government would literally be able to take your money in an instant if they didn't like you, or the ultimate big brother is the digital yuan. Right, like the crypto yuan is like just the ultimate nightmare.
Who remembers the South Park when the 9/11 episode, and the very end of the whole thing is who blew up the buildings, and it was like, well, it's crazy, like terrorist people, right? But then it's like, okay, well, why is the government taking credit? And it's like, well, the government just wants people to be afraid of how much power they potentially might have, and so they always want you to think they're smarter, stronger, faster, more educated than you in everything that you do. And basically, the 3, 4, 5 things that I've mastered, I'm smarter, more educated, faster, better, just cleaner, just everything. I'm better than them at, whether it's options, whether it's, some part of stocks, whether it's life insurance, whether it's specifically index universal life. I know a lot about roofing. I know a lot about politics, actually. And yeah, there's just a couple things that I've felt was important my whole life. And those are the things I'm the best at. Everything else I basically suck at, but if I felt like they were important in the moment and I needed to get good at them today, like, you better believe 3 weeks from now, I'm so fucking good at it.
Blockchain technology coming to pass is the digital yuan. And nothing against the Chinese, just like the way their government functions. They do a lot of things really well, by the way, but it's just very, that digital yuan could be in your account, it's out of your account. Who knows? It's just, right. It's ether, right?
Margin call.
But I think that the biggest threat would be if something disrupted the U.S. dollar as being the global reserve currency. That would be an absolute shock. I don't think that the world would kind of come back from so quickly. That's the biggest threat I see.
Unless it's going to the American people, unless the thing that beat up the U.S. dollar was the people of the U.S. betting their money against the system. That makes perfect sense. Think about it.
It's fascinating that you'd say that too, because I've seen some different opinions, on different news sources such as CNBC, Fox, whatever, talking about Bitcoin eventually acting, 10, 20, 30 years down the road as some sort of currency that's adopted by the U.S. bank system. Do you think that's a possibility? Because I see U.S. dollar. No,
not at all. I think that's insane. I think it'll never happen in a million years. I've been wrong. I thought Bitcoin would disappear, but I know a lot about Bitcoin. I don't think Bitcoin in any way, shape, or form is meant to be that. I just think that the dollar is going to be digital. It'll be a digital dollar, which it kind of already is in the sense that each dollar's got its serial number. It's digitized right now, but just, in other words, listen, I think a lot of people don't really understand this. Like what blockchain and crypto really is, it's decentralized finance. All of the things that people know about, Coinbase, BitPay, credit cards, they're all nonsensical, really, in the mind of what blockchain was supposed to be. It's like shoving a square peg in a round hole. Why would you take Bitcoin and put it on a central exchange? Because it defeats the purpose of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a decentralizing tool. As opposed to the whole architecture is decentralized. So when you take Bitcoin and put it on a central exchange, it's like a joke. Right. It's a complete joke, right? It doesn't make any sense, right? So like Bitcoin is not very good as a currency. It's terrible as a currency. It's expensive to move around. It's slow to move around. It just doesn't work very well. Now, I personally have a company I'm working with that actually is trying to change that to make it so it can be used for currency in actual commerce. And I think that'd be a huge breakthrough to be able to use Bitcoin. But I think that, in other words, there's going to be spaces of adoption. Like, for example, one mistake that we make here is that we think of things in U.S. terms. We have a stable currency. Well, if you're living in Venezuela or Argentina or Africa, or many countries, like Bitcoin represents a really important store of value for people because, like, it's like versus their own shit currency that keeps going down, becoming more worthless every day. They have something at least is stable or it tends to be going up now. So that's a huge issue, like in other countries.
I call bullshit on that. Like, how many Americans have such easy access to investing, and how many Americans are investing right now? And so when you go to like third world countries that he's saying trying to like avoid the high heavy inflation in Venezuela and stuff, they're not investing. They're all freaking broke, fools. Like, our broke people might put in $100 into AMC. The broke people are not investing. And there are people that have some money. I mean, maybe they're in Bitcoin right now. Maybe they're making money, but that doesn't mean Bitcoin's not going to zero with everything else. Everything's going to zero when inflation hits. I mean, maybe not zero, but low. A lot of losses. AMC and GME is the only thing that will beat inflation. It's just that simple.
In this developing world, right, having something like a Bitcoin or an Ethereum or whatever it might be. But I think at the end of the day, the United States itself is going to have its own digital dollar because it will use all the advantages of digitizing a dollar.
There's no advantage to this. It's all just stupid fake news, freaking retard talk of like them trying to explain why Bitcoin has value because it's like digitized. And like, no, shut up. You don't understand nothing.
Which would make it's very big brotherish. It's really it's exactly what the people who founded crypto were hoping would never happen. And I think that's what's going to end up happening.
The only value in Bitcoin is the buying pressure in Bitcoin. That's what created the value. There's nothing to do with anything in blockchain or nothing else. Does blockchain have some value? Maybe. But that's not why Bitcoin's got value. Bitcoin's got value because people fucking bought it. That's how stocks and currencies and anything else works. And cryptos work. They're all the same and they all work the same. The difference with stocks is that freaking you got the OTC and dark pools, and then you got the options. Because I know I've seen options on crypto, but the options that I saw on the crypto were linear options. They weren't timed out options, so they looked more like futures than they did options.
Allow crypto to be used, but there'll be very severe off ramps and on ramps back into
like you make or lose more money, but like when you bet up or down, you're either gonna make lose $1,000 or lose $1,000. Where our options are not like that. They're not linear like that. It's not 1,000 or 1,000. It's 10,000. I either lose all of it or I make 100,000, right? Or I make 100x on my money.
Like you won't be able to do it without, like in the shadows.
Or anywhere in between
you can
that.
use Bitcoin as much as you want, as long as it's reported exactly. And I already believe that the NSA knows exactly everyone's Bitcoin. I really believe that. And I think Bitcoin's not even very good for money laundering. It's not really, there's better privacy coins like Monero, things that are meant for that. Bitcoin's not. But I just don't think Bitcoin replaces the dollar. I think Bitcoin is more like replaces gold, if anything, not the dollar. Okay. I don't think it's meant to be the dollar.
That makes sense.
That's the point.
Okay, so staying on this Bitcoin topic, with an upcoming bear market, whether it's a year down the road, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, do you think that Bitcoin's going to get wrapped into that? Because what I think about is, as you mentioned, a competition essentially for liquidity, whether it's the real estate, bonds, the market, now Bitcoin kind of being its own separate market that doesn't really follow the NASDAQ or the SPY or any of those different, ETFs, index funds, whatever it might be. Do you think that's going to be something that ends up coming crashing down if the market enters a bear phase?
I mean, I think it will crash eventually, yeah. I just don't know when. And I think there's a lot of money to be made between now and then. Right. I think it goes higher before it goes lower. And I think that even if it crashes, it doesn't mean Bitcoin's not a great thing. Like everything goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes. Like that's normal. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Right. Like I don't think it's like that. Bitcoin, like in the early days, my biggest concern with Bitcoin back in the early days, and I was right. I called it almost to the day in 2017. I knew it was going to crash. I thought it would be outlawed. Like I literally thought the governments would say no. I'm shocked that they did it. So
they can't outlaw nothing. We live in the wild, wild west. We are in America, a free country. Until the law is on the books, it is not a law. And there are no laws that are hurting us right now, guys. Like they can't just turn it off. It would take all types of things to happen. And if all the politicians just straight up said, no, retail loses, what do you guys think is going to happen? You think things are going to be calm? You think people are going to pay their taxes? Fuck no. Oh man, it's gonna get wild. You better get ready for secession. You better get ready for it. States are gonna be leaving this country.
Being a real Bitcoin bear during those years, I was very clear about what my bearish.
Obviously, he's talking about Bitcoin, and I'm referring my message to GME and AMC. But they wouldn't stop Bitcoin. They won't stop GME. They won't stop AMC. They'll temporarily halt it. They'll try to beat you. They'll try to bend the rules any which way they can. They've already broken the rules. This halting stuff is totally illegal. The only allowing selling and no buying was totally illegal. Like that was purely to take back $10 billion that they just lost in AMC options because they were so fucking cheap. Oh man, you guys got no idea. You guys got no idea how cheap they were. We have homeboy Sebastian in the chat sometimes who freaking put $100 in and cashed out $50,000 when GME went from $12 to $250. Think about that. $100 into $50,000.
Thoughts were being based on. It was based on that. I thought the governments of the world would literally squash it because it just represents a lack of control of the money supply. And that just doesn't seem possible. They would allow the money supply to go into Bitcoin. Now what's happened is Bitcoin has become, it's not money. It doesn't function like money right now. It's a speculative store of value. So it's not being used like money, certain transactions. It's not, in the sense, taking a very different approach. And I think that the most healthy thing that could ever happen to Bitcoin is more regulation. The more regulation you put on Bitcoin, the more it bodes well for Bitcoin's future. I don't think you want to look at Bitcoin as being an adversarial instrument to the traditional finance system. It's got to be part of the traditional finance system. That will be the most bullish thing ever for Bitcoin. I think that's the direction that things are going in. That's why it's good. So I think there might be some hiccups along the way. There might be a lot of I think there's a lot of regulation coming in this year to Bitcoin. It could drive it lower, but I think ultimately that's a good thing for the long-term prognosis for Bitcoin. So my big problem with Bitcoin was like, oh, the government's just going to say, it's zero. If you buy and sell it, you go into jail. Like, you get it like that. They could do that. They really wanted to. They could do that. They could make it illegal. They did it with gold. I don't think they realized that gold was illegal to own in the 40s. I didn't know that.
Gold was illegal to own, but how many people owned gold, right? Like, he's just trying to spread FUD. That's all it is. Fear, 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 fear. Market gonna crash. GME, AMC going with it. It's like, okay, well, if everything's crashing, I'm definitely not moving my money then. He's not telling me where I can put my money that's anywhere safe. He says Bitcoin will go to zero. He's not saying it'll go at the same time, but he's basically saying everything's going to zero. It's all going to crash. So don't even worry about anything, right? It's like we're all going to die of a heart attack, work until we die anyway. So let's, like, what are we worried about, guys?
Yeah, they outlawed individuals owning gold. Yeah, and then up until 72, every dollar was based on gold. Most people don't know this. I mean, the government passed a law, not quite sure, it was in the 20s or 30s, I'm not sure the year, but they made it illegal for individuals to give your gold, return your gold to the government, or else you go to jail. So they could do stuff like that, okay? And then ultimately in 72, Nixon took us off the gold standard. So every dollar was backed by gold in Fort Knox. And then they made it.
I want to respond to a comment in the chat from Free Ricky. It says the faster and bigger these YouTube channels grow, the bigger the grain of salt you have to take with their DD and research. That's not how it really works with me. My DD and research is finite. I don't have an infinite amount. I can't, I don't want to be Andrew Money reading 1,000 Reddit posts a day. I don't really enjoy that. And especially if I've already been paid, if we've been paid and we've finished all my whole plan, like if you guys are still expecting to be rich and watching me talk on YouTube while I'm rich, you are out your goddamn mind. You are out your goddamn mind. We got better things to do with our time. We got to save this world, fools.
This floating currencies that we all, you say fiat currencies came into vote, and the fiat currencies have advantages. They allow bankers to control things and manipulate things by using leverage and printing currency without any backing. It's more based on the fact that the U.S. has got really cool aircraft carriers that can blow you up if you don't play by the rules. And at the end of the day, all money is based on how many nuclear bombs we have and how many aircraft carriers that will send in on special forces and blow the fucking company. If you don't play by the rules of economics, we'll blow you up. That's what it's all based on. That's all the reason why the dollar has value. It's based on military power, the ability of the U.S. to project power, and that's always been like that. Rome was saying the same way. It's based on projection of power. There's like the stuff that's a real deep economic stuff, but it really is what drives everything.
That really puts a lot of perspective into my job. I'm actually an active duty officer in the military. I haven't shaved in a couple of days, but wow, I've never thought about that. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, think about it.
No, that's. Yeah, I mean, it makes
think
sense.
Think about why the dollar's the reserve currency because of Navy SEALs, really, because we'll blow the shit out of you if you don't play by our rules.
Right.
Oh, you're not giving us the oil? Great. There you go. Bye-bye, Saddam Hussein.
Right.
No, think about it. And
Isaiah Hammonds, I'll fuck Belfort up, I promise. I hope I get to fight the bitch. I hope he's watching this right now and he's pissed and he's ready to fight me. Tony Barizzi is diamond handing and is in the club. Tony Barizzi just added 500 synthetic shares to the short interest, and he is doing his part. What a man. Still coffee. I'm glad this video was done. Like, don't you guys think this video I'm making of it, like, is pretty important? Like, I just demolished this fool. He has not said one comment that I have not been able to just completely demolish, or he's talking about like the market crash and inflation, and I've already been saying that for 3 weeks. Like, this guy has brought zero new information to the table. $10,000 to get shit on is what this was, but it's a good thing because, like, this is the kind of stuff that gets people excited. Seeing him say such stupid things and then hearing the truth about it is what gets people excited. So, like, we're like, this kind of stuff is going to get more people to invest in AMC, and we don't need to worry about that. Yeah, like, dude, like, do you guys know any other channel that talks about more important GME and AMC DD and research and more important, like have a better like view on every take of every possible situation, and we don't even really watch the freaking charts? Like, I'm not stressing about what my money's doing right now because I don't get paid for a couple 100%. So I know I'm going to see it. Like, when it goes up 50%, then I'll start watching, right? Then I'll start cheering. But like right now, I'm just fucking, we're working. We're trying to raise more investments. We're trying to get people to follow the end game plan. We got the real end game. But the only way that gets done is if I keep working. And so, like, I want to watch the charts. That's what I used to do. But now I just feel like I got to come to work and spread the message. Like, should I do the same thing to Ralph's video? I could totally do this to Ralph's video. I haven't even watched that one. I don't really care about it. Like, he's not nearly as big as this one is. Hell yeah. All right, guys, let's finish this up, and then I'm going to close out this video and upload this video, and then we will just enjoy the rest of the day, chill, smoke, chat, listen to music, whatever.
they made that point. You know, you don't play by the rules in Argentina. Oh, we'll take the Falkland. It's all military might. Projection of power. That's why countries are countries. We forget that.
Definitely. Wow. I feel like I learned a lot.
John Paul just said Ralph sold out, question mark. He did sell out. He said he sold out of AMC, and he said he still thinks AMC has good long-term potential, but he's scared that a dip might be coming. And he didn't really explain, like, I didn't watch the full video, but the part that I did watch, he just said that he doesn't want to be in right now and he wants to get in later. And he's still looking at the research, and he just wants to get in later. And right now he's not sold on the research anymore. And until he's back to full confidence, he wants his money to be out in the sidelines. So he didn't buy anything else. He's just putting his money on the sidelines, deciding if he does want to be an AMC or GME or not. And obviously he's lost a ton of viewers since having that opinion. Bro, I'm so down in my 2023 $40 strike. So if you're only 0.49% down, like, good for you, buddy. John Paul, baby, in the house. Welcome, welcome. I think you're new to the chat, so welcome, welcome. All right, guys, let's finish this.
Chatting with you about this stuff. That's really cool. That's good. I think there was another question that I wanted to bring up, and this was regards to sort of the biggest lessons that you've learned with all your years in the stock market. I think one of the best assets that you have as a person is your experience. You've seen a lot of things, you've done a lot of things. So through your experience in the stock market, being a broker, going through this whole process to get to where you are now, what advice would you give to people who are getting into the market right now? Because I think there are a lot of new investors with technology, being able to buy and sell in the blink of an eye on your phone. There's just a lot of new people out there who maybe don't know things they don't know. You don't know what questions to ask until you know what questions to ask.
My best advice I give to everyone is that if you want to play in the game of speculation, which is a really fun game and you can make a lot, right? You really just gotta be up on it. Like, you can't be a dabbler in this stuff. You gotta really pay attention. I talk a lot about fundamental value, but at the end of the day, it's like, if you're gonna try, honestly, if you want to play the game of finding fundamentally sound companies, I would strongly advise you just put all your money into spiders, into the EFTs, and buy the S&P. That's your best bet. Just buy it.
He just said inflation's coming. Why wouldn't he say bonds? If the market's going to crash and everybody's going to put money in the bonds like he just said, how is he going to tell everyone to buy the S&P? The S&P, even though it doesn't crash 100%, it'll still crash 50%. How is he going to tell you to go buy stocks right now after he just said the market's crashing and he's bullish on Bitcoin, but he thinks all the money's going to end up in the bonds? The fuck did I just hear right now?
And hold it. You'll do much better just buying the S&P and holding it and trying to go find 10 stocks that are really great. Right. Okay. Biggest lesson, the biggest mistake I made at Stratton was in my hope of trying to appear legitimate. I tried to find companies that actually had a business versus companies that had no business at all.
That's such a lie. He did not look for nothing. He found 100 different companies and sold all of them. He knew very, very little about these companies.
Just really crazily big, good ideas. It's those big ideas that actually are the ones that the stocks end up taking off. Right. It's not about earnings and assets.
But then he's going to tell you to go buy the SPY because the SPY is the big idea. He just says the big idea is the one that makes all the money. But then go buy the SPY because SPY is big idea. Big idea. Big, big, big. SPY big, big. So dumb.
In the game that you're playing right now, a lot of people are investing in, it's not about earnings. It's just not about that. It's about what's got the exciting proposition. What's the latest thing? But you got to really stay up on that stuff. Like, you got to be really like, if you want to play it, you can't just be like, I heard a tip, and you're got to stay in the rooms, in the chat rooms, get into a network of people that know, and just really keep yourself abreast of stuff. There's a lot of money to be made in the market in this sort of crazy story stocks that run up and then then plummet back down. You could be on the right side without risking the farm every day, but you got to really stay up on it and just remember that when the market becomes bearish, that game doesn't work anymore.
Right.
Yeah, and go on the bonds. So stop telling people to buy the SPY.
That's that makes a lot of sense. I think the game of speculation, it's that idea of buy the rumor, sell the news. Essentially, if there's a lot of excitement in the market, long term, as we kind of mentioned, obviously I'm a relatively new investor based on my experience. Everything returns to their fundamental value. The bull market is overvalued, vice versa with the bear, but they'll always
Free Ricky
long term to their true value. With this speculation idea.
Modern problems require modern solutions.
Money on speculative plays that people are excited about. So that's
There you go.
Spot on. Awesome. I think that's most of the questions that I have. Is there anything that you want to talk about otherwise?
No, listen, I think you're doing a great thing, buddy. I like what you're doing. You're giving people good information, so keep on doing it. And just remember, make as much as you can while the times are good, and then people more conservative when times aren't good. It's all cycle. Right. We're in a good cycle now. It's a good time.
Nope, this is permanent.
My journey to investing was
It's not a squeeze. It's permanent.
I ran marathons essentially, and I ran into a heart condition. Got diagnosed.
Starts as a squeeze, ends up as permanent transfer of wealth.
Do something. I got to get something that gets me out of bed in the morning to be excited about. And for me, that's the market. I'm only 23 years old. I am relatively new. I don't know everything, but I try to grow every day and get where I'm supposed to, go eventually. So I appreciate that. It means a lot, Jordan.
You got it, my friend. Good luck.
All right, thank you. You have a great evening.
Wowzers. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. That is my review on the Jordan Belfort Trey Trades interview from yesterday. I hope we can all realize that Jordan Belfort is a cuck ass loser shill bitch cunt motherfucker. I hope we all can agree on that. I hope we can all agree to not dilute the AMC shares. We own 88%. The only thing we want to do is sell out a little bit to add up the open interest on the 2023 strike, $40 strike. And once we get the short interest up to 140%, then the short interest will be a Batman signal to all retail investors and institutional investors all over the world for a great squeeze. we get up to a certain amount, we cash out, and then we go and do our other squeezes with our profits and our people that have signed the honor code. And then after we squoze one or two more companies, we will then put 50% of our profits into the AMC and GME market orders, and we will buy every single stock until I have put all of my $1 billion or my $1 million, whatever I end up with. I'm going to put every single dollar, like half of every dollar I make, I'm going to cash out for me and my family. The other half of every dollar that I make, I'm going to buy GME and AMC stock equally for dollar values. And then after I spend all my fortune that I cashed out, these will be the new bank accounts that I live out of. And I only sell these stocks at, like, I'll never sell them until I'm out of money. And then I only sell them when I need to spend money, because I believe that this is like a 4-year event. And I believe that inflation will climb for 4 years, and that AMC and GME will be the only things to outpace the growth of inflation all 4 years long. And anything else you will get wrecked in. So that is what I believe. Any final questions before I end this stream? Not the stream, guys. I'm going to stay live streaming, but I am going to close out the video so we can upload it. Anybody got anything? Isaiah Hammond's posted Discord link of AMA with Econ Team. Aaron Rigby says GOAT. Welcome to the chat, Aaron Rigby. Thank you for saying the GOAT. I've been trying to say that to people and they think I'm just being obnoxious or arrogant. And it's like, man, if my shit wasn't the best, I wouldn't say it was. Free Ricky says that's the clip right there. Stale Coffee says he's an asshole with 10K price tag. Aaron Rigby says Godpill greater than Belfort. Why bother? Says, dude, you're not only knowledgeable, but funny as hell. Free Ricky says Belfort bought his escort a $200,000 truck. Visual says Ralph video next. Maybe. Somebody said Ralph's not worth it. I don't really know yet. Let's see how this whole trade thing plays out, because I feel like I may not need to be like trying to get extra viewers or nothing. And if nobody cares about Ralph, then why do I care about Ralph? Like, are there people like going around, like, are people paper handing because Ralph paper handed? Not that I've heard of. If you guys know that's happening, maybe we got to do something about it. Keegan McKinnis says you're amazing. I appreciate you, Keegan. Isaiah Hammond says posted. Dave Lamoureux says the Godpill sent my HC to your. Yep, I got yours, Dave. I got your honor code. Don Rana says, how did you think Trey kept his cool throughout the interview? I think if I tried to, I think I could have paid Jordan $10,000 and I think he would have gave it back to me halfway through the interview and said, you are too much, man. And he says, like, this is not how this is going to go. It's my way or the highway. The lawyers won't never allow this. You're crazy. Like, maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong, but you're fucking crazy and we can't deal with you. Like Trey played it the only way that it could have gone live. And so I think this is the right way it had to go. Like, Trey was just there to let Jordan speak so we can see if he's a good guy or not. And then now I come around the next day to come and show you guys that Jordan is the opposite of what we call good men. He is not a person we call a man of character. He has a no character, and I will fuck that pussy up any day of the week. Meet me somewhere, bro. Meet me and find out. Let's roast that toast. All right, guys. Let's end this video.